Although the longest period of human history is played in the Paleolithic, most humans lived during the last 10,000 years. In fact, 96% of the history of humankind occurred in the Paleolithic period. On the other side, 88% of humans lived during the Neolithic and Modern period. The Holocene epoch triggered the beginning of agriculture. This was the first crossroad of humankind, which resulted in the increasingly control of energy. The early per capita energy consumption increased from 0.22 to 0.45 tons of oil equivalent from the end of the Paleolithic to the Neolithic era. The growth of world population was even higher. Around 6 million people were living worldwide about 10,000 years ago. Nevertheless, in the early agriculture period, around 5,000 years ago, the estimated world population was 50 million. This means roughly a 20-fold increase in world energy consumption. Agriculture stimulated population growth, large and permanent settlements. Slowly, few farmers were capable to grow food for many individuals. Therefore, people not involved in agriculture could be engaged in other tasks, thus originating large, specialized and well-structured societies. These were ultimately the key ingredients for the development of civilization. With the establishment of farming practices, there was a paramount change in the relationship between humankind and the natural world. Indeed, with the engagement in agriculture, humankind began to reshape the non-living environment for its own needs. As a consequence, a growing sense of separation between the natural and the human worlds may have appeared. The sense of community between humankind and nature, which is still prevailing in modern foraging communities, reduced in agricultural civilizations. It was probably replaced by a sense of alienation, a sense that the natural world was at the best indifferent to humans and at worst strikingly hostile. This feeling is well expressed in Giacomo Leopardi's Operette Morali. I am bound to conclude that you are a manifest enemy of man and of the other animals, and of all your own creatures. Now you ensnare us, now you threaten us, now you attack us, now you sting us, now you strike us, now you rend us, and always you offend or persecute us. At the dawning of Industrial Revolution, humankind could only access energy from animals and plants, and of course it could rely on itself. Despite the use of inanimate power, such as wind and running waters, around 85% of the energy required came from animate sources. It was only at the end of the 18th century that humankind opened the doors of an astonishing world with novel and huge energy resources. Humankind was at a new crossroad. The Industrial Revolution had shown how to harness much higher and denser energy flows through various inanimate converters. Biomass, coal, oil, gas, fissile atoms, these are the treasure that humankind uncovered over the last 3 centuries. Human civilizations ceased to rely on earnings and start to harness natural assets that were originated and accumulated million years in the past. Let's have now a short look at the inanimate converters that changed our world. With improvements of steam turbines and first practical design of dynamos at the end of the 19th century, humankind enters the age of electricity. Lux facta est. Edison's demonstration of electric light was a watershed in human society and is probably the best way to appreciate the technical discontinuity brought by introducing electricity. It is equally astonishing to recall the words of Karl Benz after the first successful run of his two-stroke engines in 1879. The engine started to go, put, 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 and the music of the future sounded with regular rhythm. New materials and synthesis processes featured this period of technical advances. Flourishing of skyscraper is probably the best example to appreciate practical applications of steel. At the same time, the synthesis of nitrogen fertilizers through the Haber-Bosch process was fundamental to increase productivity in agriculture and sustain the increase of world population. This was also the period in which communication and information technology flourished in human societies. The telephone and many other innovations were born in those decades and contributed to the widespread diffusion of technical innovations. The impact of the Industrial Revolution was almost instantaneous. In countries in which the Industrial Revolution took place, the per capita energy availability increased. European citizens consumed 3.2 tons of oil equivalent in 2012. In the same year, citizens from sub-Saharan African countries assessed 0.6 tons of oil equivalent, the same level of the Neolithic consumption. The expansion of world population was also astonishing. The main energy-related technical achievements are reported to show the intimate correlation between availability of resources and population growth. Finally, it is interesting to observe the change of world primary energy demand from the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. The world primary energy demand was around 550 exajoule in 2014. More than 500 times higher than the Neolithic period. In its Geology of Mankind, the Nobel Prize Paul Crutzen argues to assign the term Anthropocene to the present, a geological epoch in many ways human-dominated. This attribution would rely in the geological mark of humankind in the Earth geological record after the Industrial Revolution. In 2016, the Geological Congress will consider to include Anthropocene as the latest epoch of the Cenozoic era. Human footprint on Earth can be dated no later than 10,000 years, a blink of an eye, compared to the 6 elapsed epochs of the Cenozoic era. Whether the Anthropocene would have been started in early Neolithic with agriculture or late 18th century with Industrial Revolution, the debate to elevate Homo sapiens as a creator of a new geological epoch is fierce. Looking forward to understand the future of humankind on Earth, we can probably recognize the actual microlayer of the Anthropocene is nothing but another mark of the strange paradox that we are living today.